So yeah, tomorrow kicks it off. So it's going to be me, shirtless. So it's not like I exercise 5-6 days a week.
I was going to say, like, have you been training for this and trying to get shredded?
I work out a lot. So I've been working out hard at this place for the last like 18 months. The problem is I like food. And when you're 43, how old are you?
34.
Okay, so you don't know it yet because at 38, that's when it starts to break.
Oh,
just goes downhill. So you have 4 more good years until it just all starts to go downhill. How old are you?
27?
Yeah, you're good. You got a lot of time. It goes faster than you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, now if you eat like ice cream, you see it kind of lodge itself here, and you have to starve yourself for 3 days and bike like 20 miles a day in order to burn it off. So now it's different.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
And we're really busy people, so I go out to eat a lot. And it doesn't matter if you try to eat healthy when you go out, even though it's impossible. But they're cooking the healthy shit with unhealthy shit anyway.
Are you a big drinker?
I don't drink at all, period.
Really?
So I've never been drunk. I don't drink at all.
Wait, you've never drank in your life?
Like, I've sipped alcohol to know that I think it tastes like shit. But I've never consumed it to the point of being drunk ever. And I haven't touched alcohol in 20 years.
Okay, so I'm curious because I experimented with this a few months ago. I lasted 2 months.
Of what, not drinking?
Of not drinking, and I felt amazing, but it's also kind of nice. It's also kind of nice to drink.
Well, so, let's think about this for a second, right? I mean, you are European, so it's a little more cultural.
Yeah.
Yes, or
especially
right?
British people,
right?
We'd like to drink.
So, do you like the taste of alcohol? Like, what is your drink of choice? Let's start there.
Espresso martini.
Do you like the way it tastes?
Yeah, I love the way it tastes. I tried to have a virgin one, and it was terrible. Like, give me some alcohol.
So, if it didn't get you whacked, would you drink?
That I would, yeah.
So you actually like the taste of it?
Yeah, it depends on the alcohol. Certain, wine. I'm not like a big wine guy, but yeah, wine's cool. And tequila, tequila's my go-to, but yeah, I wouldn't drink tequila if it didn't get me buzzed.
Yeah. So liquor literally makes my tongue go numb. I'm so sensitive to it because I never drink it. And wine just tastes like bad vinegar.
But where does that come from? That's unheard of to just like... I get if like you had a problem with it at one point or like it runs in your family, alcoholism. I would understand that. But this is just like you just don't want to touch it.
So it's funny that you say that because like back in my dating life when I was dating aggressively in my late 20s, I would meet girls and they'd be like, "Oh, you drink?" I'm like, "No, I don't drink. I don't drink at all." And they're like, "I'm so sorry. Are you recovering?"
Yeah.
It's like, why do I have to be recovering? Why can't I just not want to drink? So, A, I grew up in a family that doesn't really drink.
Got it.
B, I think it tastes awful. I do. I think
That's
alcohol
fair.
tastes bad.
Yeah. Most of it does.
C, I don't really like to lose control. And D, I tend to have a very addictive personality. So when I do something, I go all in.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to like casually drink.
You will drink
I'm gonna
everything.
I'm gonna drink until I can't, leave this office.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's probably better not to do that.
We should do that. Well,
Drink until we not leave the office.
What about anything else? Touch like weed or...
Never smoked weed once.
Wow.
Never smoked a cigarette. Never done any drugs. I don't even take aspirin.
That's insane. But you are a very, very high energy person.
Yes.
So like I kind of get it because you don't really need it.
You would hate me, dude. If I was wasted, you'd be like, "Get this guy out of here. Lock him in the closet until he comes down."
Yeah, you'd be an animal.
I would be an absolute psychopath. Like me on coke. What would me on coke be like?
You would just be a freak of nature, I imagine. You would just like not stop moving, not stop talking. It's just you multiplied by a billion, I guess.
So here's the real story, right? The real backstory of this is what I think the real reason why I don't do any substances is. So I'm 43. When I was like maybe like 10 or 11, they diagnosed me with ADHD. Okay. Now ADHD, like this was before like...
Which every has.
Now everybody has it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's hyper? Oh, it's not that he's bored because you suck as a teacher. It's he has to have ADHD.
Yeah.
So back then it wasn't like a big deal. So they did all the blood work and all that crap. You're like, your son's got ADHD. So they tried to give me Ritalin.
Yeah.
So they gave me Ritalin once. It turned me into a zombie. I never took it again. I used to like throw it down the drain when the nurse wasn't looking. Never took it again. And I think that had such an impact on me. Like, hey, if you put this substance in you, it could totally have this physical impact on you. And I'm like, I'm never putting anything. I don't even take aspirin. I don't even take cold medicine.
Okay, so question then. What do you attribute your high, crazy energy to? Because it's not... I mean, I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's not normal. You're very, very high energy. It's like, that's got to come from something.
I feel like, bro, you're exhausting just to watch. Yeah, I have ADHD. So some people might see it as a curse. I think it's a blessing.
No, it's amazing.
I think
you understand how it works within your mind and your body, and you know how to channel it.
now in my older age, like I understand it more. So
Your older age. Looks my age. It looks younger than me.
well, that's because I'm not married and I don't have kids. So, you know,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
keeping me young.
Is that in the works?
Not like
I
today,
know-
but
I know
it
you
could
have
be.
you have a lady
I do have a
still?
lady.
Okay.
I do have a lady. Do you have a lady?
As of last night, yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
What, as of tomorrow, we don't know?
No. As of like, I literally asked to be my girlfriend
Oh,
last night. Like, it's that recent thing.
Mazel tov.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, and a fellow Jew.
Nice.
A
How do
fellow
you,
Jew.
how do
Tribe
you,
members.
how do you feel about that? Not the Jew thing, the girlfriend thing.
Well, I love being a Jew.
Okay.
I think it's
It's an exclusive membership to a club that nobody can get into.
right. And then on top of it, we just like attract money. It just like comes to us. We just exhale and like $1 million just like falls into our mouths. It's,
Bro,
it's
I
amazing.
tell people this all the time. Like, listen, you convert to Judaism, you make at least 25% more next year. You don't have to do shit.
Bro, do you know what's crazy about that is I have successfully convinced over 50 people
To convert?
that if they convert,
Ah, okay.
the Jews will give them 20 grand. And everyone has believed me.
But it's really true. It's like, listen, nobody will not do business with you because you're Jewish, because they respect your business savvy. And only Jews, a certain echelon of Jews will only do business with Jews.
That's true.
And there's a certain level of respect that you command just because your last name ends in Berg.
Yeah. Or Raub.
Yeah, or Stein,
Yeah.
or anything else that sounds.
We have a Stein.
Do we?
We do. He's a Ukrainian Jew.
You could go a million different ways though, bro.
Yeah.
You
well,
really.
I'm very mixed. I'm 25% Polish, 25% Russian, and then 50% Persian. And I'm from England, right? So like no one knows. So people think I'm Dominican, I'm Italian, I'm Egyptian, I'm like all this, but it's good. Blend in with anyone.
You could be, now that I look at you and I listen to you, you're essentially Andrew Tate's brother. Like you're the third Tate brother that nobody knows about.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I'm like, God, Andrew Tate. That is crazy.
Like to the extent where sometimes if I walk around, people stop me and tell me I look like Tate.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
I was in Colorado last year for a mortgage event,
Yeah.
and there were these kids who were like, it was at a university, and we were in the lunchroom, and these kids were sitting at the table, and they were like pointing and laughing at me, and then I went over there to be like, "What's up?" And be like, "You look like Andrew Tate." I was like, "I know."
And I sound like him too.
Yeah, it's not a great thing. I mean, look,
I mean, it's a pretty cool thing.
it's cool. I mean, there are a ton of things that I admire about him, but because the association with him is generally negative, especially among women, it's not the best thing in the world.
Do we really think that's true, though?
I don't think it's true. I know it's true.
Do we think yeah? I don't know. Like, I'm not massively into Tate, but I listen to some of his stuff, and some of his stuff is like real out there, right? But there is a lot of it that makes
He's
sense.
a genius.
Well, he's a marketing genius
Yeah.
for sure. But there is a lot of it that makes sense in like a very primal, traditional sense, and I feel like even a lot of women agree with it, but they don't want to admit that they agree with it.
Right.
But in their
That's
life,
exactly it.
like, listen, no woman is dating a who doesn't make any money. They're not. They're cheating on that guy.
Right.
Can we talk about this on your podcast?
Yeah, we can do whatever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if
Yeah,
this
no.
was G-rated or what.
So I was just in Miami with my best friend lives there. He got married. He was from New York. He moved there. Whatever. So we're hanging out, and he's like, that lifestyle is the epitome of like Tate and like money, flash, all that.
Yeah.
And he's basically telling me like he meets all these women who are married, and they brag about the fact that their husbands are beta.
Yeah, not
and
good.
they can boss them around. They have zero respect. They don't give. And you're right. They cheat on them all day.
And they bang the pool boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. It doesn't. Yeah, the dynamic between men and women as I get older is very interesting and very difficult.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot more difficult. There's a lot of things I've realized as I've gotten older. Go back to the ADHD thing. Everybody has a certain person. You ever heard of PI test? This is the coolest thing I learned about recently. There's this thing called a PI test, predictive index test. And companies use it to hire. So it's a personality test. It's 2 questions. It takes 2 minutes. And it will pinpoint exactly who you are. Wild.
Interesting.
And what they
I'm
do
taking it
is
right after we're done.
it is amazing. It'll pinpoint exactly who you are, and everybody is named something. There's captains, specialists, Maverick, whatever it is. And
Sounds
that
like Call of Duty skin or character. Or something.
essentially,
That's
yes,
what
it's like
called.
it's a video game.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is those people have certain traits that lend themselves to certain types of jobs.
Okay.
and you hire people in your organization based on that test. And it's the only test that you can actually bring into court as a defense for not hiring somebody. So if you don't hire somebody and you say you didn't pass the predictive index, you didn't meet our PI test requirements, admissible in court, boom, that's it. Over.
Really? Okay.
Very interesting. So like for me, I'm a maverick. I took the test. I'm a maverick. A maverick is CEO. Super A-type is a CEO type of person. Like not organized, visionary, very high energy, alpha, all that stuff, right? Humble. Okay. Yes,
yeah,
true.
Continue.
Maybe not so humble all the time. So that's what the test says. I suck at doing anything else.
That's fair.
So when I hire, let's say I need a COO. So a COO, we just hired a COO. He's coming on, amazing guy.
Mazal.
His personality is a captain. So a captain is like similar to a maverick, but they don't want to be the CEO. They don't want to launch their own thing. They want to be under the umbrella of an organization, and they're more organized and they delegate and stuff like that. So now I started using this thing, and it's a freaking game changer for my business. But to come full circle, I think everybody has to, I don't think if you have some kind of a problem, you need to medicate yourself. I think if you have a certain personality type, you should say, okay, I should go in this direction because whatever my condition is, and I'll use that very loosely in my own case, it lends itself to a certain type of job, position, etc.
Gotcha. So it's more about just channeling it. But the question is like, what did people do 100, 200 years ago with ADHD? They just naturally figured out where to direct that energy.
I mean, I think they got married at 12 and died at 25.
That's a good point. They didn't have enough time to channel their ADHD.
They also, they farmed road horses and,
Different times.
Yeah, different times.
So let's talk some business, man. What's going on in the market? We've got to talk some business.
Oh, sorry.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We can talk about whatever you want. This is your show.
So, I mean, again, we'll do the brief intro here. So, Charles Weinraub, handsome home buyer, Long Island's #1 fix and flip investor, and all around hilarious dude and maker of amazing commercials.
Thank you.
So, what's the word on the street? What's going on?
As far as the market?
Yeah, everything.
I fucking love the market.
Great.
I think the market's amazing.
You're alone in that, but great.
Yeah, everybody. So here's the thing. For the people that are doing business like yourself, there's a lot of business. You might be doing a little bit less business than you were before, but by other people's standards, you're doing a ton of business.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the big thing is people just need to evolve. You know, Brian Karp is still selling 185 houses a year.
He's an animal.
The people that do a lot of business are still getting a lot of business. The difference is the people that were just getting by doing business because all you had to do is have a pulse are not doing business.
Right.
And I would argue that it's probably because they're lazy and not working.
Yeah. And they don't know how to. It's different though. It's like I agree that they're lazy and not working, but it's sometimes they don't know how to do certain things.
Yes.
Right. Like there's but there's very little mentorship.
Yep.
It requires tremendous discipline. So the issue that you're referring to, it's like I've seen it in the mortgage business too, right? Like people came in 2020, 2021, and they were spoiled by the low-hanging fruit, and now they don't know how to sell. Right, because they're just used to being order takers. So now they don't even like. It's like the brain can't compute. It's like, why should I work 20 times as hard to make 20% less than what I made before? And they just they can't make that flip.
Yeah. So basically, when everyone's buying a house, all you have to do is like have some kind of network of people, and you'll do business. But when you actually have to be a professional and really go cultivate business, you can't do it. So it's interesting because next year I'm launching a real estate brokerage concept, right? Actually, I'm bringing it out on the podcast, sort of. I actually haven't talked about this with anybody really.
Oh, wow.
It just came, so go.
Yeah, let's go.
And the premise is just that. So I have been a mentor and a biz dev person for real estate brokers, for loan officers, broker owners, and stuff like that. And I realized something maybe like 6-9 months ago in the process of doing this. There are people that want to work and make money. The problem is they don't know what to do. So the issue is really on a broker owner level that you have to create a system that essentially you can plug people into that manages every aspect of their business life.
Okay.
So
what they do?
What the people?
If you're managing everything, what do they just go get
Well, this
business?
is what I mean by that. Let's give an example. Okay. Like, all right. So I know realtors. They're good you probably know these realtors too. They want to work. They wake up in the morning, they go to the office, they're there, and they're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So they putz around, they go on social media, they make a couple videos, they go to lunch with their friend, and they go home because they don't know what to do. Their broker maybe has a CRM, but they don't know how to use it. You know, maybe they have some other tools, but they don't know how to use it. They may or may not have social media ability, but they don't know how to use it. They don't know what to do. And they don't know how to schedule their life and time block to be efficient. So when I say you have to come with an organization that essentially runs people's lives, like it's a franchise, like, hey, you walk in, here's your month. It's September's coming up. Here's the deal. We have an amazing, what did you call him again? Gangster
Casanova connoisseur extraordinaire.
Exactly. Who's here full time to help anybody in here who wants to do social media, right? Yes?
Yeah.
It's okay, cool. So there's a social media director that works with Casanova here, and they sit down at the beginning of every month and they have a calendar schedule. And everybody that's an LO here has to create a minimum of 2 hours worth of content a week. And you guys have boards and boards and boards of all different topics that people can do. And they have to spend 2 hours creating content. And all the time slots are set out for them, scheduled, the whole nine. And you have somebody help them put out the posts. So now, all the LOs, like this gentleman's sitting here.
Yeah.
Half the time probably not doing nothing. No disrespect to you. I don't even know. Because these guys and girls don't want to create content or don't know how to. Yeah. But if they walked in here and said, listen, if you want to be an LO at Madison Mortgage, which is gangster, we're closing deals in 17 days. Who the hell is doing that, right?
Sure.
It should be easy to get business as a result. No one delivers like that. But everybody needs to know who you are, and no one's going to know who you are unless you network and go out on social media. So every week, your time slot is from 12 to 2 on Tuesday. You're going to sit down with Casanova and you're going to crank out content. You don't know what to talk about? No problem. Casanova's got a book this thick of topics for you, and we're going to rip them out. And then we're going to post them for you.
Yeah, so you're saying like basically have that scheduled, like you're giving them the business blueprint along with 500 other things for them to do, like how to network, how to look up networking events, when to go to them, like literally everything they have to do in order to generate their own business.
Run their life. So basically there's an office manager who every week puts out, or every month puts out, here's the networking events going across Long Island. You're required to attend one networking event a week. You schedule it. Boom. Bill, what's your networking event this month? I'm going this week, this week, this week, this week. Okay, cool. If you spoon feed these people and put them into a framework where all they have to do is do what they're supposed to do, they will do a lot of business.
True.
The problem is
They don't know.
the brokers and owners of these companies don't do it. They think, I'll bring a ton of people in that don't cost me any money, and whatever money we make is fine because it's free. I would rather have the upper echelon of people that do the business, give them everything at a fair split, and have a very successful business because of that. That's my theory.
I think that's a great idea. Like, as I'm listening to you, I want to implement the same thing. To be fair, we've tried. The problem, at least with video stuff, is that not everyone is comfortable doing it. But everything else, you could do.
So it's content creation. So some people aren't comfortable on video. Are they comfortable on audio?
Other people. Yeah, that's a good point.
Why? I mean, bro, you're good looking. I'm not really that good. I'm kind of awkward.
You're the handsome homebuyer. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm handsome homebuyer because I'm not good looking, so I can say it. Otherwise, I'd be a
I disagree. I'm sure your girlfriend disagrees too. But
this guy's like. So that's my point. That's what I think is lacking across many, many, many industries. So my theory is to put a framework together that essentially takes care of realtors from like cradle to the grave, from Monday to Sunday, and bring in the best people and give them the best service and charge what I think is fair for that and what they think is fair for that. And I think the business will blow up.
Yeah, we won't talk splits on here, but I think that will do very, very well. Very well. Like, I know off the top of my head, like 15 realtors that need that. Probably more, probably like 30, 40 actually.
Probably 95%, if not more, of all realtors when we really think about it.
True.
And LOs and anybody
LOs for sure.
And here's the thing, like, I personally think that being an LO is the greatest, most underrated business in real estate.
Really?
Think about this for a minute. I think it's easier, not in a disrespectful way. I think it's easier than being a realtor in the sense that I think you can make way more money.
It's easier to scale.
Way faster. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what you do is kind of like what I do in the sense from a marketing standpoint.
Yes.
If you're a realtor, you have to go out and meet all kinds of people that want to buy and sell houses. If you're an LO, you just have to meet a ton of realtors who really like you and then close in 17 days.
Yep.
And then just have them funnel you business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I think we closed a deal recently of your house. I
What was
forget
it?
which one that it was.
I think we did.
Yeah, because you tagged me when you got the pre-approval.
Yes.
In the story.
And I was excited about it.
Yeah. I forget which one.
That was me trying to like bribe my way onto the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I wanted time to go by between while I was on yours and you were
okay.
on mine, because it's too soon. It's back to back. You know what I mean? And then I'll come back on in a year. You'll come back on in a year. We'll around and have some fun and find out, as they say.
So that's my theory on the industry. I do think that people like, I'll use my buddy. You know Kenny Hirsch?
No.
Kenny Hirsch is the man. So Kenny Hirsch is with Compass. Kenny Hirsch will probably do, you should follow him. He'll probably do 60 to 70 deals this year.
That's incredible.
By himself.
Yeah.
He's only been in the business for 4 years.
So how?
He's a knowledgeable, hardworking, handsome, extremely charismatic person who has a massive network that he has built and services very well over the years.
Did he have the network before he got in or after?
Yeah, he knows a lot of people.
Got it.
So real estate is business is basically a popularity contest.
Agreed. Yes.
That's all. It's like high school all over again.
Yeah.
Like I was so happy to get out of high school. I hated it. Did you like high school? You did? You liked it? Hated it. 'Cause you were cool in high school. You were tall. Nobody messed with you. I was like 130 pounds. It wasn't the same.
Really?
Okay, I was little. How about you?
Because now you're a beast. I had a great time in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like you'd go back.
No, I wouldn't go back, but I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
would never want to go back. I hated high school. I did. College was better. Real world is way better because none of that crap in high school
Where'd you go
matters.
to
in the real.
school? College?
I went to Farmingdale, Nassau, and then I graduated Hofstra, and I got my master's at NYU a couple of years ago.
I remember when you were posting about that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Is that
great.
coming in handy?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Greatest thing I ever
Because
did.
you're doing like other projects now, like commercial stuff.
Yep.
I think I remember seeing you. Was it like rehab home or something, or nursing something?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I've been messing with a bunch of that stuff, gas stations. It's just cool. It's like when I went to that, nobody has kind of all of it. And what I mean by that is when I went to NYU, there was a bunch of really rich offspring of like hyper successful real estate developers. And they all went to like UPenn. And I went to Nassau. And they were really smart, but they couldn't do deals because they didn't have the real world experience because they just have this book thing.
Yeah.
And then there's the guys that are running out in the street that are doing deals, but they don't have the Ivy League education. When you mesh the two together,
Yeah, you're an animal.
you're basically Superman.
Yeah.
You could do it all.
Yeah. Which you are literally
Which
doing.
that's what I'm trying to do. I am doing. It's just taking some time.
Which like might sound like, I wouldn't say arrogance, but it's a cocky thing to say, but it's true. It's like you can back it up. It's very Tate-like, right? You're like you're talking, but you have the proof.
So let's talk about the things that I'm bad at, right? Because I think that's a lot of those things
So
are really
some
important.
humility is good. Let's do that. Let's balance it out.
So the thing that so I went to this mastermind, and I knew this, but you know how you ever go to masterminds or any kind of networking events, and sometimes you're sitting there and you know it, but they kind of like beat it into you, and it makes you do what you've been trying to do or wanted to do for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. So I suck at delegating. Like I work like an animal. Like I'll work 24 hours a day, but I haven't hired enough of the right people in the right positions to scale. So I'm doing myself a disservice because I consider myself a sharp guy with a lot of experience, but I should be at a certain level, but because I haven't hired the right people and set up my company in the right way, it has hindered my growth.
Okay, so question, how are you resolving that? Like, what are you changing to resolve that? Just have them take PI tests or?
No, so I've implemented a strategy called EOS, which is kind of like a structure in business, which lays out how business should be run and how it works. So there's the CEO, who's the visionary, who essentially comes up with the direction the company's moving. And then there's a COO who's right underneath.
You just hired.
Who I just hired, yes, who runs the day-to-day operations. And then you have an executive leadership team or ELT team, which is, in our case, we would have a head of construction, a head of sales, a head of property management. And then what would happen is there's certain strategic meetings every week, like one meeting, not like crazy meetings, but and then those people have their own divisions underneath them. And everybody is responsible for their own shit. So I wake up in the morning, like every day I'll come up with some whack idea, but I can't implement it because I don't have the people behind me to implement it. But with that kind of system, I'd wake up, I'd have a dream, I'd wake up and be like, oh my God, okay.
And just voice note it, boom. we got to do this today. Go.
I'd have a meeting with my COO. I'd say, listen, I need you to, do the research, do this, do that. Or I would say to him, listen, I want to scale. We're doing 50 houses a year. I want to do 150. Go to the ELTs, find out where their capacity is and what they need to get to that level. And then I would come up with the ideas, and then they would implement it, and the business would grow. So instead of the business growing as a result of me working 24 hours in a CRM doing mundane shit that I shouldn't be doing, it grows much faster by hiring very expensive people who will end up making you a lot more money. But in the short term, it's the business owner's like, I got to pay this guy how much money? I got to pay this girl how much money?
Yeah, but think about your lifestyle. Have you thought about what you're going to do with all your free time?
Well, I'm probably not going to have free time because I'm going to have more.
You're going to use that time to go and get more anyway.
To come up with other.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what's going to happen. But here's the cool thing. Like, if I leave for 30 days, I don't have a business. You may or may not have a business. I don't know. I don't have a business. I have a job.
Yeah.
It might be a high-paying job, but it's a job.
I do as well. Yeah, I can't sell my brand. My brand is me.
Well, so if you went away for 90 days, no phone, no nothing, when you came back, what would happen?
I did that, actually. Not 90 days, but I did when I got my hair done in Turkey.
Yes.
I was basically MIA for like 2 months.
And what happened?
Business was good for a little while, but after, I'd say maybe 3-4 months, it slowed.
You were still taking the intake calls, right?
No, I would, some I would forward to my staff. A few I would take myself, then forward to my staff.
Yeah.
But overall, because I wasn't doing the networking, the originating activities to bring in new business, I had a couple months where that weren't so good, right? So, which is exactly the point, right?
Yeah, so let's say you didn't take any calls. You would have had no business.
Yeah.
So for a couple months, it was good because you had the pipeline filled.
Right.
But then the pipeline was empty. So why after that you didn't have any business? So that's the problem. Like guys like you and I, we don't own businesses. We have jobs.
Yep.
The key is when this is all put together, it's a business. If I go away for 60 days, it still runs. The CFO is still moving money accordingly and has a relationship with the investors. The sales team is still bringing in deals. The COO is still running the day-to-day operations. The property manager is still reporting to the COO and has their team, and everyone's getting the rent's getting paid and all that stuff. It's a real business. What I have now is not a real business, and it sucks.
So, okay. So my question is, I understand from an operation standpoint how that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't see, or the connection I'm not seeing, is how that will help you in terms of sales. Because you generate all the sales, right? You close all the deals. You got no one else doing it for you, right?
Well, so my business model, when I put it together, was smart in a way, but in another way, and I'll explain that. So I do 70 to 110 houses a year, and I didn't have to spend...
Which is amazing.
Thank you. And I didn't have to spend any money to do it because I would make friends with everybody.
Yeah.
And I would take care of everybody, and I would make sure that it was a great experience so everybody wanted to sell houses to me. The problem is, if I decide that I'm going to go to Turkey and get hair done, which may happen, my business dies.
Come with me at the end of the year. I'm going back.
Right?
You'll finish. But yeah, you're right.
So, but that's not good. Plus, so that's really the thing. So what I did is I'm like, okay, I don't want to get rid of that. I want to maintain that, but I don't want it to be my only source of income. So what I did is I built a CRM and started building out all kinds of different marketing verticals, outbound and inbound, to bring leads in. Then I don't have to be the front person.
Got it.
So on those marketing efforts, I'm not the front person. I have an acquisitions team. I have someone that reviews the files. I have somebody that puts the offers together. They negotiate the deals. I don't get involved. So that's a real machine that runs without me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, it's working right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's physically working.
Yes.
And now in a market, right, in a market that really sucks by all intents and purposes, I've been taking in an average of 2 new deals a week.
That's dope.
So while flippers can't get houses and all that, every week, so I just started implementing this in February. I started building it piece by piece by piece. So the last 2 months have been, 2 deals a week. So for next year, I want to be able to do 4 transactions a week. And I think in this market, I think I can do as many as 8 transactions a week.
In this market?
Yeah, in this market. When I mean this market, I mean Long Island.
Oh, I see.
I think I can
do.
do.
Not the time. I thought you meant like the state of the market.
Yeah, I almost think the state of the market is irrelevant.
Okay.
Just think about this. You're in one of the most densely populated, wealthiest, highest demand counties
I do agree.
in the country.
I do agree, but with one exception, right?
What?
So because let's say that you have a pool of 1,000 people in your network.
Okay.
2 years ago, 80% of them were looking to buy and sell.
Yeah.
Right? Now, 10% of them are looking to buy or sell.
Yes.
Right? So I do agree with you that the business is in there, but you have to, in order to get there, you need to go from 1,000 people in your network to 8,000. So the percentage-wise, it ends up being the same thing.
Yes, but no. Yes and no. So, but remember what I said. I have that network, right? But I'm not tapping the network differently. I'm building different streams to bring business from other areas.
Right.
Because the people that are now sending me business.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Yes.
That's going from 1,000 to 10,000.
Yes.
To get to the same thing.
Yes, but it's not specifically network. It's adding tentacles where deals are going to come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have the stats or not. It'd be interesting. I don't have them. How many people in the first 6 months of this year bought a house?
I don't know, but I think the average sales nationwide per month was roughly 650,000 homes sold a month.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make here is this:
Or listed for sale. Sorry, go ahead.
Ideally, how many deals would you love to do a month?
30.
Okay, so let's say you want to do 30 a month. I bet you if we looked at all of the deals that were done, it would blow your mind. So if there's 1,000 deals done, 1,000 houses bought on Long Island in a month, and all you want is 30. Pretty easy, right? When you look at the numbers.
When you put it from that way, yeah.
That's the point.
3%.
So what I used to think, which was slightly limiting, was New York's a really hard market. It's all built out. You can't do the numbers they do in Idaho and Nebraska and Ohio. But that's not true, because there are guys. Like I know a guy in California, in San Diego, which is essentially the same market, doing 650 deals a year.
Yeah. I can't even comprehend how they do that. That's insane.
They have 100-person team and amazing systems and marketing, and they spend millions on advertising.
How long does it take them to build that, though? It's got to take them
8 years. It took 8 years.
It's incredible. That is incredible.
But I bet you, do you ever go to loan officer gatherings from across the country?
I do, yeah, a lot.
Okay, have you ever met anybody who's doing 100 transactions a month, and you're like, how are you doing that?
A few, yeah.
It's real. It exists.
It's real. It's real. They have massive teams and spend a shitload of money on leads. That's it.
Yeah, but are they making a lot of money?
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's a great business model. It's just like the thing is, right? So from an LO perspective, and I see a lot of loan officers do this, and I did it when I was early in my career, is that you cannot scale being every realtor's best friend.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a scalable model.
Mm-hmm. So
even though there are realtors that I love and I hang out with, but I can't do that with everyone. It's physically not possible. So I always say that it's better to just not be their friend or whatever, be on good terms, you know what I mean? But be known for your execution, your reliability, right? Because this way it's not about, is Ben, going to pick up my call and let me vent about my wife or husband. It's going to be, Ben gets it done. Ben gets it done. My clients are happy because, that's what it was back in the day. I would spend hours on the phone with my realtor partners, and that's what the conversations were. And then it's just like you can't put your time anywhere else. It's not possible. So that's why I actually like that model of spending money on leads, growing a team, right? But then again, it's different because personal referrals take 4 times less the amount of time to convert versus a lead. So you have to kind of weigh which one you want to do or do both.
Yeah, I mean, ideally it depends on how much business you want to do, right? And then you scale based on that of how much work you really want to do. But there are people, I sat down and he blew my mind. MG the mortgage guy, you know MG the mortgage guy?
Yes.
So I had him on the podcast. He had me on his podcast, and I sat down. Very cool guy. We became friends.
Smart guy.
That guy doesn't do anything with mortgages. Period. All he does is create massive content at scale to the market, which drives people into his funnel, and he has a team that does everything. Yeah. And maybe he loses a percentage of them because they'd want to deal with him, but he gets so much business that it doesn't matter. Yeah. So that kind of stuff is real. You can be the handsome face of it, and just people want to work with you, but you just pass them off to your amazing team. Now the key is your team has to be amazing. Right. That's the thing. You need a gangster processing team, COO, however you want to structure it.
That is my model.
To run with it.
Literally, yeah. So I'll basically, it depends. A lot of people know to send business straight to my team. Some send it to me, and then I do a 5-minute filter, and then I hand it off.
Awesome.
Right.
Smart.
So, yeah, so it works. I've been doing it for 2 years, and it works well. And the same thing happened. I had realtors who were like, Ben, I only want to work with you. I don't want to work with your team. Even though they're like, the team is amazing, but you're the face. I want to work with you. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't give you that anymore. It's not how I do business. And I lost them. But I made up for it in other ways, right?
Okay.
I was able to focus on relationships that didn't demand me be in the front of everything.
Yes.
But because the reality is, it's also kind of like an ego thing from the LO's part. It's like, we have to handle everything because we know everything and we're the best. It's like, we're still reviewing files, right? Sure, people may not be as wowed by your team as they would be by you, but they still do an incredible job, and you'll still bring in new business.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Like, so let's think about this for a second. Every person, like successful business person like us, thinks that nobody else will do it as good as we do. And you know what? That might be true to a certain extent or maybe not. But your time is, when you think about time, like you're 34. When I was 34, I didn't think about it as much. As I'm 43, I start to think about it a little bit more, how valuable time is. Yeah. Now, if I said to you, listen, I'm going to spend $50 million next year, but I'm not going to underwrite any of the deals, would you think I was nuts?
If you had someone to underwrite for you that knows what they're doing.
I'm going to have somebody do it for me. But
yeah,
so I'm going to put $50 million in the hands of somebody who's going to spend my money, and I have to trust that they're not going to lose my shirt.
That sounds insane.
It would sound insane, right? But it happens successfully all the time, and it's the only way to actually scale a business. Yeah. The same thing in every business. Your business is not unique. Mine's not. His is not. Nobody's is. Yeah. You just have to bring in the right people, pay them a lot of money, invest in them in the beginning, and know that you're going to make less in the very short term, but a year into it, you're going to make a lot more money, and your life's going to look totally different.
Yeah, and be more enjoyable. Not as exhausting. Quality of life is huge to me. You know, it's like if someone wants to work with me because they know that I'm the guy that picks up the phone after 9 o'clock, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. There are plenty of them. Go to them, right? Because all those people, from my experience, they are unprofessional. Because if you have to do business, unless it's like a real emergency, right? Like you got a closing tomorrow and something's going on, fine. But like, you don't need to call me at 9:30 to verify if your client sent me a pay stub at 9:02. Yeah. Right? So there's a lot of that.
No, I get it. And you come up with system. And listen, you're in a very chaotic business. Mm. You know, all the docs, all the stuff that comes together. No. You know, I would say just, and you probably do this, I'm sure, you focus on the system and you put somebody who's super system driven and very detail oriented, and you empower them to come up with a system that enables them to get everything up front or do something that makes just the process easier. It's always going to be a little chaotic, but you hire the right people with the right skill set, with the right personality type, and you put them in that bucket and you let them do that thing better than you do.
Side question, slightly off topic. Mm-hmm. Have you considered doing coaching?
So I was talking to Brian Karp about this. It's interesting you say that. So Brian Karp is in my opinion, could be one of the greatest realtors and the greatest realtor of our generation.
Wow.
I mean, let's think about this. Forget about all the bullshit you see on TV. The guy sold 205 houses by himself.
He's also a freak. Like, he's a machine.
Of course. He is the most regimented man on the planet. But I don't know a lot of people in the country. I'm sure there's guys and girls doing a lot of business, but not like that. Like, there's not a lot of people. He's in like the top. So he told me that he put together a product, $3,000, and it's all pre-recorded. The fact that every realtor in Long Island hasn't bought that makes absolutely no sense to me, but that's another...
$500 is a lot of money to the average realtor in Long Island, let alone $3.
Yeah, but then they're driving around in a $1,000 a month car payment.
I'm aware. Why do you think I need to close deals in 17 days so they can pay the white 3 Series?
With a freaking $30,000 AP on their wrist.
I know, which is fake. They think that we don't realize. I've seen a lot of it's pretty funny.
But I talked to him and he was telling me, he goes, the demand for that product nationwide is so insane that he's like, it's way better than real estate could ever be.
Really?
He said education. And then I started looking into it. The money you can make, and MG said the same thing. He's like, bro, like the mortgage is just a vehicle. He's like, the amount of money that you can make in the educational space and help people. But originally I was like, you know what? All these guys on TikTok are douchebags. Like,
yes.
I can't like sit on the hood of my Ferrari.
Including us.
No, we're not douchebags.
We're douchebags, bro.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Why? What do
Absolutely.
we do? We don't flash watches and cash cars.
No, but in terms of our arrogance and confidence, right? But you're right. Yeah, we don't flash.
I think we're sexy.
We're definitely sexy.
Yes.
Yeah. Tyler thinks we're sexy.
Tyler just turned around to look at the wall.
He got married recently, so he's been.
Congratulations. Nice, good for you. So, yeah, I can't do that. So I always had that negative connotation.
No, but you could do it.
Well,
you
could.
mean Ferrari Lambo shit?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's too cringe.
That I can't do. So that's how I saw those people. But lately, I'm just like, you know what?
Just be like, this is my rental portfolio. If you want the same thing, let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? That doesn't work.
Crazy.
So I'll look at my social media. Lately, my social media has been blowing up because I found kind of a niche within social media.
Sweet.
I call it the best series. So what I do is, like, I like to go out to eat. If I find a place that I think is the best place, the best Italian restaurant, I'll just sit here and make a video about how this is the best Italian restaurant. And the title will be Long Island's #1 Italian restaurant. Bro, 500,000 views.
Amazing.
So all of a sudden, if I post a video, hey, do these 3 things, you'll be financially free, you'll make $500,000 a year, and you'll never have to work, 3 people will watch the video.
Yeah.
If I talk about Italian food, 500,000 people will watch the video.
Crazy.
So that's
but it does make sense. It's easy. You don't have to think.
Yes.
It's like it's pure entertainment. You know, people go on social media to be entertained, not to learn how to make $1 million, which is, you know,
you're right.
It's so silly because the information is free. And that's another thing. Because it's free, they take it for granted. And they do need to invest in a course that costs $3,000, $5,000, whatever $1,000, because that investment will keep them fucking accountable.
But they'll buy Tate's course because they see the models, the yachts, the cars, and all that stuff. So I get it. I think there's probably a happy medium where you don't have to be a douchebag, and not a douche like us, a douche like them, and still make money doing it. So to answer your question, it was very long-winded. I think eventually I will do something like that.
Yeah.
Because I think, A, it's going to be fun. B, I'm going to help a lot of people, and C, I think I can make a fuck ton of money doing it.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's also fulfilling too. You will personally find enjoyment out of it. I do not a ton, but I do some mentoring for free, and it's more fun than originating loans.
Yeah,
I love it. It's just like it's slightly different because it's one-on-one, right? It's not courses, but it's still, you get so much joy, especially like when you see someone that puts in the effort and you see their growth, and to know like of course, it's on them, they're doing the work, but you played a part in their growth. It's so fulfilling.
It's amazing. It is. It's a great feeling. Even when I give someone advice on TikTok or Instagram, and then they hit me up a year later and like, hey, bro, listen, I quit my job. I bought my first rental. I did this or that based on the advice you gave me.
That is amazing.
Very cool.
No goosebumps. It's incredible.
That is like super, super gratifying for me. Yeah. So I love that. So I'll probably go down that road at some point.
Yeah. I think what you could also do is public speaking.
Yeah, I think it kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So you do events, you bring people in. I mean, those events, I would love to be on stage speaking in front of 10, 20, 30,000 people about what I love
But that's
to do.
what I'm talking about, but also like charging like 20 G's to speak for 2 hours.
Yes.
Right? Like you could do that for sure.
Exactly. No, but you know when I can't do that? If I am looking at every house, raising every dollar, and trying to figure out how to work a CRM.
Hence the scale.
That's the thing. So while I might make less in the short term, I will make more long term. Like I can do 70 to 110 deals a year, kill myself, never have a personal life, and not hire anybody. Or I could spend a lot of money hiring great people and then 10x that.
Yes.
But in the first year, maybe I won't make any money. I'll break even. But after that, I'll take off like a rocket.
That will work.
And that's what I'm doing right now.
100%. Tyler, what are we in, 45 minutes?
Exactly.
Okay. So typically we stick 15 to 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We keep them short. So this is a good sign because it's fucking dope, and we'll have to have you back.
Nice.
So what I do want to end with is, it may be a little bit corny, but a lot of your audience will want to hear from you. Especially if you were, what advice would you give to realtors and loan officers right now that are struggling, that need to get business? What should they do?
So the first thing they need to do is they have to commit to they have to look at themselves and say, am I really working?
Yeah.
Right? Let me be honest with myself. Then I want them to, actually, you know what? Back it up. I want them to say, what kind of life do I want to have? Like, what does that mean? How many hours a week do I want to work? How much money is enough? Do I want to have a family? Do I want to have kids? Do I want to be at every baseball game? What do I want my life to look like? Because someone that wants to make $100,000 a year, hang out with their wife and kids all the time, is different than somebody who wants to make $2 million a year.
Yeah.
So I want you to say, hey, what do I want my life to look like? And be honest with yourself. And then put together a plan of exactly how to go execute that. And if you don't, reach out to me, reach out to other mentors, put something together, be proactive. And I guarantee you, in a year, you'll be a totally different person with a totally different life, with a totally different bank account.
Yeah, so obviously it's great advice. The problem with most people is that in order to do that, it requires confronting their ego, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's a big deal to say to yourself, like, I'm not doing what I should be doing.
Yep.
Right? Like, I'm not, because then it's like,
yep.
If you identify as a person that's successful and this and that, and then you have to look at yourself and be like, I'm not, it sucks. Like, people don't want to face that pain.
Yep.
And I see it all the time because I get people that come to me and ask me what to do, and I tell them, you got to do this, 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 and this.
And they don't
can do it.
Yep.
Right? Because for whatever reason, maybe the what they have to do requires them to step out of their comfort zone. But that goes with the territory. If you're going to grow and change, you have to do something different. It's like it's basic math.
Yep. People that don't know and are reckless but take action will make way more money than super smart people that just don't do anything.
Yeah. There was a video from that old Dan Pena, who said he's this guy who's like apparently a billionaire, and all he does is
I know you're talking
he just
about.
Like curses at everyone.
Yes.
And he literally, I just saw it the other day, it was like, stupid people make more money than smart people.
Yes.
And it's true.
Yes.
It's 100% true.
When I was at this event, there was a very impressive guy there. He had raised a fund of like $7.8 billion over an 8-year period to do commercial real estate in Texas. And he had a mentor, and he said to the mentor, hey, listen, I'm thinking about going back and getting my MBA. And the mentor got so pissed and looked at him and said, you want an MBA? Go hire one. Like that's not what you need. No. And it makes sense. It makes sense. But listen, in everyone's defense, they don't teach you this shit anywhere, man. Like, where are you supposed to learn this?
You're not. Yeah.
They don't teach you in school. They don't teach you really in college. They don't teach you this. You have to go out and seek it. So, I don't know, most of the most successful people I know came from like very dire situations. Like there takes something, like most of the kids I grew up with had like very cushy lives. So there wasn't really any fire to be lit there because you have a cushy life. The most successful realtors that I know, let's just keep it to real estate because that's what we do here, right? Came out of super messed up situations. Like, you know, the men, I mean, Brian Karp, very tough, dyslexia, cancer, all that stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had cancer when he was like 20 years old. He was dyslexic. He was thrown out of school, like all that stuff. Persevered. A lot of the women, especially like the older female realtors that I know, it was a situation of like, Charles, my husband left me. I had 3 young kids. I was 27 years old. What was I going to do? And they built crazy real estate careers because they had to. And here they are 20, 30, 40 years later, still closing 30 to 50 deals a year.
Diamonds are built under pressure.
Without a doubt. Even my own personal life, I find that I had it cushy once. I needed to have like real business or financial strain or just personal strain. And on the other side of that comes amazing things. But if you're just like coasting and you have it easy.
So what do you recommend to people that don't have that, right? So like, I mean, I'll give you myself as an example. I didn't have a difficult life, you know. My family's not very wealthy, but we're certainly not poor either. You know, I was given everything that I could possibly want and more. I was very, very fortunate. But like, I have an insane drive. Actually, to be fair, I know what it actually comes from.
Where does it come from?
So it's the Jew thing. Yeah, there is this. It's a pressure that isn't talked about in my family, right? So it's tied to the Jew thing. When I elaborate, it will make sense. Because it's part of our culture to make money, provide, whatever you want to call it,
Got
right?
it.
So because everyone in my family is stupid successful, like every single person, then it's like there's this unsaid pressure. No one ever talks about it. No one, like my parents have never told me, Ben, you need to go and make a shitload of money so you can be the man, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, you feel it.
Okay.
You feel it. And so for me, that brings me up. But it wasn't like a stressor. It was more of like a push.
Like a healthy competitive thing.
Right.
Whatever it is, that's awesome. But there's some driving force that like
Everyone
lights
needs a
and
force.
stokes the fire.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody needs something. And listen, that something could be, insecurity and I want to drive around in fancy cars, whatever. But you need to have something.
Well, Mosey says that. Like, he's insecure in terms of, like, he wants to win, right? Or just, like, be the best. He has this insane pressure on himself.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, from what you're saying, like, trauma is probably like one of the best.
Trauma really works. I mean, just think about it from like even like a UFC boxing standpoint.
Yeah.
The best fighters in the world didn't come from Long Island in like a cushy upper white middle class community. They didn't.
Yeah. With the exception of Chris Weidman.
Yes. But like Mike Tyson did not come.
Yeah.
So it takes a certain level of pressure to do that.
Animal. I think we'll end on that note. Do you got anything for the stories?
Need your social.
Okay, give them in. Charles Weinraub, thank you very
Did
much.
you say my social?
No, your social media.
Oh.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.